What's up, people? Jay here. Just got done watching SmackDown and Talking Smack, that combo of shows. And speaking of combos, this video is going to be a combination of a review of SmackDown and also a preview of the upcoming SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view Backlash. I'm going to be discussing a few of the segments that I saw on SmackDown's Go Home episode tonight, and then discussing their corresponding matches that will be taking place this Sunday at Backlash. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick things off with the Women's Championship Forum. Here's the thing. If the objective of this segment was to make sure every person with a mic in their hands annoyed the hell out of me, then mission accomplished. It sounds highly questionable that was the objective, like everyone in the creative team meeting was sitting there going, what are we trying to accomplish here? You know what? We should make sure everybody in the ring pisses Jay off. It sounds questionable, right? But the thing is, it was executed so flawlessly that it couldn't have been anything other than that. Like, I was even sitting back giving Daniel Bryan the side eye, like, really? Damn, Daniel. Like, shameless promotion of Total Bellas. I'm going to need you to take your ass to the back of the line immediately. But the problem was, when everyone else stepped up, it didn't get any better. As I was sitting there and I saw a lot of lips moving, but I didn't really hear much substance behind anything that was being said. And the reason is because I heard a lot of buzzwords and talking points and catchphrases. Nothing really packed a punch, really. And I guess that's one of the after effects of the way in which WWE has intentionally booked this women's division over on SmackDown. They've wanted to go out of their way to establish an equal playing field where there's no real front runner in the division. There's no one person that's breaking away from the pack, and they haven't booked it for anyone to break away from the pack. And even if it was to occur naturally, they've been counteracting that. Just take into account the fact that you look over all of those names of the women on SmackDown and you're like, okay, yeah, Becky Lynch, she's definitely going to be a standout. But they've had a newcomer to the roster in Alexa Bliss pin her on multiple occasions. And hell, the first time it happened, I was like, I don't know too much about that. I don't know if I would have gone that route. And then in the case of Nikki Bella, like, she's a very big and like dominant figure, and you just knew when she made her way to the division, like, okay, we're finally going to get a front runner now, and they're going to start building around her. But on tonight's episode of SmackDown, they actually had her tap out to Carmella's finisher. And unlike the case with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, like, I understand what's going on with Carmella and Nikki Bella, and I actually really appreciate it because it's pretty much the only streamlined story that's being told in the women's division over on SmackDown. You have Carmella, who's new to the roster. She may be feeling a little bit insecure as she sees this person in Nikki Bella. Everyone is talking about how awesome she is, and people are saying, oh, she's going to go there and she's going to take over. After all, she is the longest reigning Divas champion in WWE history, and Carmella knows all of this, and she's like, as long as Nikki Bella is at the top of that ladder, it's going to be difficult for me to climb up there. So she's been very sly in this calculated assault that she has waged against Nikki, and she's attacking her from behind, those sneak attacks completely out of nowhere, and then her attacking that vulnerability, like Nikki's biggest vulnerability. We keep hearing about this neck injury and this surgery that she had, how it was career threatening, and what Carmella does is she targets that, and it may seem very bad and dastardly, but she's like, damn it, if I neutralize her, my path to victory is a little clearer. Like, I can see that women's championship a little bit more clearly, and I'm taking steps to get there. And I definitely understand that, and I actually really appreciate it because, like I said, it's the only real streamlined story that they're telling in the division so far, and I hope that we're going to get more. And I wouldn't expect anything other than us getting more streamlined storytelling in the division after we get the first champion. And speaking of that first champion, I don't know, I guess I lied when I said there's no real standout in the division, because the standout in the women's division over on SmackDown, it is Naomi's entrance. I was about to say her finisher, but some people would say that too, but I digress. It's her entrance. So should I say Naomi's entrance should be the new women's champion over on SmackDown? And I guess if the only way that the entrance can become the champion is if Naomi becomes champion, then Naomi for the win. Boom. There we go. Okay, let's see what else we have here. The tournament to determine the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Just as quickly as American Alpha made their way into the finals of the tournament, they were kicked right the hell out of the tournament by the Usos. The way in which this all went down on SmackDown, we had a match between the Usos and American Alpha. The Usos went on the attack early on, but American Alpha, they turned the tables really quickly, and they defeated the Usos in 30 seconds, and right after the match ended, the Usos turned heel and set their sights on Chad Gable's knee, and now they're running the storyline injury, saying that he has a sprained MCL, and he'll be out 2 to 4 weeks, so that kicks American Alpha right out of the finals, that tag team championship match that was going to take place at Backlash. Now, with them doing this creates a very interesting dynamic in the tag team division, and I'm actually so glad that they did this, because as big as a fan of American Alpha as I am, them just completely running through the division with no opposition, not much resistance at all, and becoming tag team champions like wham bam, thank you ma'am, that's it. I guess that would have been fun just to see them, tear through the division, and a small part of me, actually wanted to see that happen just to show how thin that fucking division over on SmackDown is. But this is interesting in the sense that it creates so many different things that WWE can work with. First, you have the Usos, who are now heel. What are we to expect from that team as heels? Then you have American Alpha. Not only do they have to fight their way through the Usos, but they also have to fight their way back into something that should have been theirs, contention for the tag team title. So that's going to be interesting to see them be challenged a little bit and have to battle back from a hardship and a setback, and that's cool. And then you also have Heath Slater, he's really gonna win these fucking tag team titles at Backlash now, or at the very least he has a chance now, because Heath Slater and Rhyno versus American Alpha, no way in hell that one was gonna happen for Heath Slater. Those 7 kids of his, they would have gone to sleep hungry that night, and Beulah too. But I'm thinking that the way that things could possibly go, because we have Jason Jordan, he's still fresh as a friggin' daisy. You have the Usos beat the Hype Bros in the second chance match, and then have the Usos go on to the finals, then have Jason Jordan run down, cost the Usos, and then that continues the feud between the Usos, American Alpha, and then it gives Heath Slater that friggin' contract, and his kids, get to have, I don't know if they could have steak, because that's a whole lot of fucking mouths to feed. Maybe Spam. Move up from the Vienna sausages and crackers to Spam. It's an improvement, I think. I don't know. But yeah, that's it on the tag team division. And I gotta give props to Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. They've meshed very well together as a tag team. All of those double team moves that they were pulling, and just the way that they flow with each other, the chemistry that they have as partners in the ring. I really enjoyed that on SmackDown tonight, in their match that they had with Rhyno and Heath Slater. So we also have the Intercontinental Championship match that will be taking place this Sunday at Backlash. The champion, The Miz, versus Dolph Ziggler. And one of my big sayings, you guys know, is criticize when necessary, but give credit where credit is due. I'm going to sing the praises of Dolph Ziggler, because I really, really like his gimmick. Actually, Dolph Ziggler's gimmick is one of my favorite gimmicks in WWE overall. This disgruntled, uppity jobber who just cannot accept the fact that he sucks. And just seeing Dolph Ziggler go on this journey in WWE with the lowered expectations, is it funny to anyone other than me how we had Dolph Ziggler competing for the WWE Championship? He loses. Then he's competing for the number 1 contendership to the WWE Championship. He loses. And now he's competing for the Intercontinental Championship. And he has just as much fire now as he did when he was talking to Dean Ambrose. And we see exactly where the fuck that got Dolph Ziggler. Nowhere. And he just is completely delusional. And I love it. I really, really do. And continuing singing the praises, I fucking love The Miz's character. We had my co-host on the PWF Empire podcast, a few days ago, he was on his soapbox complaining about how the Miz's character was damaged. I don't think the Miz's character was damaged last week, and it damn sure wasn't this week. Like, they're actually playing into people calling him a coward. And guess what? He is a fucking heel. And he's getting heat on himself. And he's one of the very few people that I see that are heels in WWE that don't mind actually having people hate him and dislike him and boo him. He isn't saying anything that you're going to laugh at. He isn't saying anything that you're like, okay, well, this guy is, you know, he wants for me to cheer him. That segment that he had on Talking Smack, that was fucking awesome. But I mean, he was just out there speaking his mind, and he was talking trash about a very, very beloved figure in Daniel Bryan. But yeah, on the show tonight, when Dolph Ziggler had the Intercontinental Championship, and he was telling The Miz to get into the ring and come get it, and The Miz sent Maurice to get the fucking title. Oh my God. I love that. I love that so much. Like, I love to hate it because that was such a, it was a bitch move. But, you know, Maurice, that's that ride or die chick, and I'm quite sure she was ready to scrap with, she was ready to square up on Dolph Ziggler, and I'm sure she would have no problem doing it if it got to that point. But yeah, I'm really liking The Miz these days, really liking the disgruntled, uppity jobber Dolph Ziggler who can't come to grips with the fact that he's mediocre. Good stuff. And also The Miz calling Dolph Ziggler a loser backstage to Daniel Bryan and Shane. That was good stuff too. I wish that would have happened last week on the show so you can play up, you know, the fallout from the Miz's promo on Talking Smack a little bit more effectively. But, you know, I guess better late than never. This match here at Backlash, no question about it, the Miz has to win. Like, I really want to see how Dolph Ziggler scrapes the bottom of the barrel now. Like, what is he going to go to, you know, after the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. Like, how are you going to continue to scrape that bottom of the barrel, Dolph? That's what I want to find out. But, next up, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. I am not at all excited about this feud, and maybe that's a good thing, because I realize when I get hype really about feuds with Bray Wyatt, I always end up being disappointed. So the fact that I'm not really hype about this and I'm not really clamoring to see this match, I guess that's a good thing for these two, because with me not having any, you know, heightened level of expectation, I can't really be disappointed by whatever it is that I end up getting. But, you know, I got to give props to Randy Orton for that little story that he told backstage. I saw a lot of folks on Twitter like, what the hell is he talking about? Because he didn't come out and just blatantly say it, you know, with no subtlety at all. Like, watch out, Bray Wyatt, because I'm going to strike when you least expect it. Like, he took us on a little bit of a journey, and I like that. It was cool for me. But yeah, overall, I'm not enthused about this feud at all. So yeah, like I said, maybe that's a good thing, because they can't disappoint me in any way, shape, or form. Now, what do we have to talk about? I think all that's left is the World Championship picture, the WWE World Title. Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles, they met in the final segment of SmackDown, and so Dean Ambrose, he was there with his corny ass comedy antics once again, but I like this segment in a sense that the focus was shifted a little bit to AJ Styles, and he put Dean Ambrose into a situation where he had to force him to acknowledge what was happening. You're in the ring with the guy who just beat John Cena. You're joking because you don't know what the hell is about to hit you. And then we had Dean Ambrose respond back, and I wish the image of Dean Ambrose that he has of himself in his own mind was the actual Dean Ambrose. Because when he was standing there and he was talking, I was like, yeah, if any of this shit he was saying was actually true, then I'd really like this guy. But I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm no John Cena, and I send people, you know, into the depths of the ocean, and whatever the fuck he was saying. Basically, he was saying that When you get into the ring with Dean Ambrose, you're not wrestling in a match. It's an all-out brawl. It's a war. And I'm sitting there like, how the fuck is this true? Like Whitney Houston said, I want to see the receipts. I want to see the receipts. Like, where the fuck is this? Like, where is the war? That same tired-ass little pendulum clothesline that you do, or whatever the hell it's called, and that dive through the ropes, like the formulaic way you wrestle in the ring, that's a war? Really? I don't understand that. So yeah, like the image that Dean Ambrose has in his mind of who Dean Ambrose is, I wish that was real. Or maybe shit, you should be like Dolph Ziggler, just like fool us. Go out there and be, in your act 100% of the time. But that's the problem. You're not in it 100% of the time. So I can't believe you when you say it. Like, I can't get any entertainment value out of it, because 2 seconds ago everything was funny to you, everything was a joke, and now where I'm supposed to expect a war from you? No, I'm not really buying it. And that's the whole inconsistency that comes into play with Dean Ambrose, just continuing to pile on the same issues that I have with the guy. I just want a little bit of consistency from him. I want a more solidified character and shit. Like I said, he said what character he should be right there. So just like you understand, you're cognizant of who you need to be it. Look the part, be the part. To quote Prop Joe from The Wire. Rest in peace. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm actually really looking forward to Backlash, and like I'm looking forward to the matches and also the way in which the show is going to be structured. I'm hoping that this gives more of an NXT like feel than the usual main roster pay-per-views that we see, and if they go that route instead of what we usually see on the main roster, then this could actually be a really, really, really good show, and it'd kick off these brand exclusive pay-per-views on the right note. But yeah, I really want AJ Styles to win the WWE World Championship here, because I think that title needs him. That title needs him, and I guess that's his whole thing in this feud, the place that he's coming from. And I wish we would have heard more from AJ on what it would mean for him to have the world championship. Like, go out there and call Dean Ambrose a goddamn embarrassment. Go out there and talk about how it's not the championship that makes the man, it's the man that makes the championship, and you need to have that title to continue the great legacy that it has. Because this fool that's walking around with it right now, he's not doing that good of a job. So I wish we would have heard a little bit more of that, but at the very least, I can still understand that AJ is saying, you know what, I beat John Cena. Me becoming the world champion, it's only the next logical step to take here. And yeah, so I'm hoping that that is the next logical step that WWE takes here, and I guess we'll see this Sunday at Backlash. I'll be on PWF Empire Live. I'm going to be doing the PWF Empire podcast, and then our review of Backlash after that show airs. Hopefully you guys tune in to all of that, and leave your comments down below. What did you think of SmackDown tonight? What are you thinking of Backlash? All of that good stuff. Until next time, catch you later. Peace.